Business leaders and intellectual business community, we come to the last segment of our discussion today, the uncompromising leaders. And we still have Dr. Aldo Fontao, leadership seminar speaker from Argentina, as our resource person. We continue with our discussions very interestingly. Dr. Fontao, we know that you have already mentioned about good leaders should involve the people and make we instead of I, and then we make purpose together. The problem is now we are facing, with this financial trouble, we are facing, might be slowdown in economy, and U.S. might be recessions, but we know one of the consequences could be that we have to slim down, and also might be we have to reduce our workforce or people. How your concept of good leaders can deal with the situations? Because how can we, how can we fire people? How can we terminate people while they are part of us? Please, Dr. Fontao.
It's a difficult decision that has to be done. Certainly the Americans and the Europeans will think in a different way, and the Uncompromising Leader also mentions that. In Europe, the laying off people is much more difficult than in America. Why? Because there is a different culture and a different perception. America is a very individualistic society. Europe is still a community, so they tend to do less lays off. Now, 3 days ago, I was in Hawaii. I was giving a seminar over there, and I met a good friend of mine, and he has a company which is not very big, but because of the reduced amount of work that he has to lay off practically 40% of his personnel.
Right.
So he was telling me how he did it. So he came to talk with each one of them, and he talked with them. He explained the situation, and he said, look, I will try to help you, and I will try to invent something outside so that you can have at least some income of some way. And he helped each one of his employees that he was laying off. Now, these people has been with him for practically 20 years in his company, which is a successful company. When he had to downsize, he has been laying off people, but he always tried to provide for that people something. They will not just kick them out without thinking, okay, these are numbers, I reduced 25. No, he would just try to help. Consider them as human beings and not simply numbers. Now, these people, once these big crises will pass, he will have to hire again people, because business are going to grow up.
Yeah,
again.
But still, you have to choose who are staying and who is going to be laid off.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And do you think that those people accept that because they have no other options, or they accept it happily?
They have no other options. They didn't accept it happily, but they understood it, and they have kept their commitment to this leader in spite of all these processes. If this man calls them back, they will come back because they were respected.
What if the employee asked back to the leader? Because you said that good leaders, this good leader may also preach the same thing to their employees, that good leaders have involved their people and everything. What about this employee said, what about you are the first one who get laid off? Because you have the biggest salary in this company.
Absolutely.
What is
and sometimes I know that some leaders of that category, rather than receiving bonus and special bonus when they are performing bad, but they are receiving the bonus anyway, they would diminish their own salaries. And I know some of them. And those things are extremely valued by the people. Now, sometimes the layoff is a good opportunity to get rid of the people that you should not have in your company. That is also true, and it's part of the business of the business thing. So it's time for cleaning. Because unless you choose the right people, your company will never provide the good results that you need.
I see.
So these times of difficulties and challenges are times that a good leader that can have his vision in the long term or medium term, not simply in, okay, I need to fill my my numbers for the next 3 months, a good leader will find out how to modify everything, how to redistribute, get rid of the people that are not producing, because in any company you always have people that are poor performers. This is the good time, even in those cases, considering them as people and not simply as numbers.
I see.
Now the question, when you have to lay off 1,500 people, probably you don't know each one of them. But that is where the work of this leader in this company along the years has been providing him with the possibility to work with his managers the layoff of his people. It's not just one simple decision, cold.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, from audience, have questions? Pak Imran, please.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Fontao. My question is, for the uncompromising leader, which direction do you think is more appropriate? Is it sustainability or the more traditional, usual business goals, which most of the time involves being the most? You know, even sometimes if it is not materialistic being the biggest, but also even the most respected company, which always involves this connotation like, in order to be successful, you have to have more than the rest. Or is it sustainability?
Same thing, Pak. If you're talking sustainability, then you get the most sustainable.
That's the question. Whether you think it is the same or not.
All right. Is that the sustainable is the thing that we are looking for on the first place, or other measures?
The question seems to be sustainability of the business. And I was talking about sustainability of leadership. I think that the leader should be sustainable in the time. A good leader is a leader that will remain a leader for a long time. Now, the company may not be sustainable. Big companies can sometimes sell part of their business because they are not sustainable, because they are not producing the good things. The General Motors CEO decided in a moment that he had to downsize some of the companies that were not fitted to produce number one or number two in the company, and he just get rid of them. They were not sustainable in time. But because of doing that decision, that leader was there for a number of years, and he was sustainable in his leadership, and he was appreciated in his leadership. So when I am talking from the point of view of the leader, not necessarily of the company. Now the company will be the reflection of this leader that is sustainable. So I think that we need to invest in ourselves. When we think in ourselves and say, well, which are the leaders that have impacted in our lives? And you don't remember the people that has given you things. You remember the people that has given you time. And for that people, you will remember for life, and you will do whatever they ask you to do. I have been the head of the cardiovascular department in the Faculty of Medicine for many years. And I have a number of students that were helping in the process of teaching to other ones. And those people will pass through the university, leave, enter in their own practices. And after a while, sometimes I meet them on the street, and they would come and greet me, still greet me. And that is my highest moment of pleasure.
All right.
When
you
after
feel that
many
you
years
accomplished something.
And why are they coming to greet you? It's because you left something with them. So you may have more results, less results, but you are leaving behind a number of things that has made a difference. And let me share a very short story.
All right. We have only 1 minute.
1 minute. I have my daughter who had a very strange disease. She was 2 years old. She was in convulsions, and we have to take her to the hospital. We arrived over there, and this doctor came out And she says, well, your daughter is okay. This is a problem that is going to be solved very easily, so don't worry. But we didn't know what he has. So I said, what is that? And she says, let me ask you a question. He says, are you Dr. Fontao? Yes, I am. I have been your student when you were teaching me physiology. And in your class I learned to think. And what has happened is nobody knew what was happening. I started thinking and I found out what was happening. Now, I still do not have a diagnosis, but we could treat her and she is okay.
Good.
When such a thing happens, that means that you have made an impact on people that is a lasting impact.
All right.
And the company will receive the benefits of that impact.
Okay, thank you very much. Because of time, we have to conclude these discussions, Dr. Fontao. So today we discussed about the uncompromising leaders. The idea is that the uncompromising leaders do not compromise between people and profit. They try to balance those things, people and profit. And we also combine with the ideas of good leadership from Dr. Fontao, that good leaders should involve the people, should give impact to the people, so that people can remember these leaders for the whole of their life, if possible. And the most important thing, a leader, is how to make somebody change and give impact to them, and they will go for the better things in their life. That is called successful in the leadership style of this modern time. And also we see that the changes of the leadership style throughout this time, that leaders is not a single performer anymore, and we need more on teamwork leaderships. That's why good leaders now are good team player, not an individual lone rangers, but good performers. They can perform better if they are in the team, and they can share their powers with the team, and they become the star of the constellations rather than a single big stars and others are dust. Okay, business leaders and travelers business community, interesting topic we have discussed today, and we will meet again in the next CEO reference program. See you.